Where'd I go? Top of the morning to you. Hey, I'm Michael. And there's the grandkids calling me Roo. You know, I paid a lot of money for this tape and I'm trying to get it to come off of here without ripping. And so it's not. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Great to have you aboard this morning. So good morning, Patricia. Good morning, Judy. Skeeter Powell. Good morning, Kim Sheets. Join the Roo crew. Hey, I think it's going to be Roo's crew. You know what? I added an S to it. So just so you all know, I'm going to pop it up in the comments. I'll probably hashtag some stuff like this. Rooscrew, Roo's crew. There it is right there. That's not right. CREW, Roo's crew. There it is right there. I think it's going to pop up on your sheet. Put an S in there. And yes, it is. It's Roo's crew. ROOS because I'm Roo and you all have been the crew. So we'll do instead of Roo crew. I started doing a little searching. I was hashtagging that and I thought, oh, you know what? I think there's a service station that has a kangaroo on it. So let's don't confuse the kangaroos, which have two long legs, two short legs, like a frog, to those two-legged rooster ones, okay? All right, so there we go. Hey, good morning to you. Thank you for jumping aboard this morning. You got it. Let me go to the desk, and then I'll get back and say hello to a few of you. My computer's back on this side today, so if you see me turn over here, I could be looking out the window to Dan, and it's just started pouring rain here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So there you go. So wait, great. I'm painting inside today. Good thing I'm not doing that French thing of plein air and painting outside. Nope, painting inside. So here it is. There's the bee, and it's day 88. Oh my gosh, day 88. There it is right there. Just made the mark. Wow, look at this. Tomorrow, Thursday. Yeah, I got two shows tomorrow, and then Friday, two shows. Not one for painting, one for another company. And then Friday could be, maybe squeak one in before I get on the road Friday. Got a little road trip to do, short trip, but that's going to put me up to 90. Wow, 90 days. I'll be 10 days short of my goal, 100. And what am I going to do when I get to 100? Well, I got some ideas coming in, and I got some dear friends of mine have already called me with a couple things and said, hey, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing it from Paris? No. Have you thought about doing it in Israel? Yes, but I'm not there, okay? Have you thought about doing it from a couple other places? So it's been kind of fun. All right, so let me get some music going on here this morning. And so let me go to the desk. And but first, let me just say hello. I'll keep right here on this shot. So Patricia, Judy, Skeeter, I said hello to you. Kim, Chenoa, is it Chenoa? Chenoa, Chenoa. You know, sometimes the CH is silent. Chenoa. Chenoa. Jackie, wait, I'm moving my hands around and that's focusing. Jackie, welcome. Christine Whiteman, thank you. Michael Ashburn, voila. Terry Tardy, 88 it is. 88 with a question mark. Yaha. Thank you for being here from Coos Bay. Lisa Haymaker, Pat Hahn, thank you for being here, and it's Normandale, but I like the Hahn in the middle. Even though it's a different spelling, I'm UN, the English spelling of the Hahn name, which means rooster. That's it in a nutshell. Len Clark Burr, thank you for being here. Marion Jones, thank you for starting your day here. I'll call it Ruin Me. I like it. Good spelling. I could hashtag that too. That'd be a good hashtag to put out there. Good morning, Roo community. Tish Brown, thank you. Jenny, thank you for the email yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, Jenny in Ohio has received many cards and letters from you guys, being the Roo's Crew community. And she has read them over and over. Boom. Thank you for encouraging a friend via a community that is actually virtual. But you know what? It works. I got some notes and cards yesterday. In fact, I'll share them with you in a little bit. And I appreciate that. So thank you very much. Jessica, welcome. Andrea, I don't know why my camera is doing its morning thing here. It's not focusing one more time. I might get up and move it here in a second. We'll see what happens. One thing about tearing the studio down, tearing it back up, you know why they don't do that in TV, right? It's why they work the same news desk for a while. Good morning. I'd hate to have to order my coffee like that, you know. Good morning. Christina Fowler, thank you for being here. Patricia, Donna Dobbs, thank you. Michelle Mace, welcome. It's Randall Taylor Craven, so I'm not sure who it is, but it's posted under your name. Suzanne Harris from DeBerry, Texas. Glad to have you here. Chip Fur, another great guy to color outside the lines. Right on, brother. You live out the lines. What lines? I saw you're now on Instagram. No, Terry Tardy, I've been on Instagram for a long time. I just hadn't had my setting set up to go to Instagram. But yes, I'll talk about that maybe even before the week's out. But you guys can find me on Instagram. I've been there for a while. I just don't put a lot of Roodoodles on Instagram. But that may change when I go to 100 days, and I may start doing some stories on Instagram. So it's IGTV, I think is what it is. Facebook owns Instagram. Yeah, don't they? And Amazon owns Facebook, and the Pope owns Amazon. I don't know. It's just, it's all one big old nut. You just write a check and send it in. Anyway, so Terry, thank you for noticing that. But yes, you can find me on Instagram also. Just my name, Michael Hahn. I don't think you can find it. Maybe Roodoodles. It may be Roodoodles Instagram. I'll have to look and see. I should know, huh? I'm in charge of that. Why is my camera doing this? I'm not sure. Cheryl Ann, thank you for being on board. Cheryl Ann Coate Wallace, whose sister is Cheryl Ann Wallace, so somebody had to put the middle name in there. Teresa, nice to see you. Heidi Boswell from Maryland, welcome. Bobby King, welcome. All right. Wow, you guys are jumping on board here. Belinda, Crystal, Susan, Jack Wolfenbarger, good morning to you in Florida. Robert Hazel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And Beth and Papadopoulos. I love that. That's a great name. I love Instagram, much better than Facebook. Judy, thank you very much. I'll send them a note, tell them that you do, but here's the thing. It's harder to do on Facebook what I'm doing right now because I'm doing a 2, sometimes 3 camera system and set up, and I can see all your comments over here. So I chose Facebook as my format just simply because I started here, and I started here 10 or 11 years ago, not doing what I'm doing now, this live show. I was crazy to do that. But let me throw out the desk here and let's get going on some painting. But first we need a little music, and so let me just go picture in picture here. And I think we got to come in with the orchestra today. And I'm thinking the orchestra needs, let's see if I can get this to play. Bring it up here a little bit. I think we need some chicken music today, which would be, bad joke coming, ready? Bach. Okay, there it is. Chicken music's coming. So if you can see what I'm doing in here, I'm doing some little faces back in here in the background. Oh, there they are. Jesu, joy of man's desiring. So, little wall here. There's their music. Sheet music's open. They've all got on robes. There's one person over here whose hair is like mine. I need a small brush. I got to get my arm out of the way, but this is a tiny little painting. I don't know if you can see it there, but see, you got the orchestra here. That's the bagpiper. This is the guy playing the chimes that I never finished with a hammer. That's Thor. And here are the people coming into the choir. And they're all in there letting the pen bleed. They're just all in their black robes. A little bit of... You got to admit, it's a great piece of music. Some of you have probably marched into this music into your weddings, or some child has marched into this music when you said, you got to have something classical and nobody else. I've never heard this done on a tuba. I'd like to hear it done on a tuba. So there's the choir. They're all back in the back of the orchestra pit. There they are. Get warmed up. Let's turn the choir down here a little bit. All right. I can hear it. Not sure you can, but it helps me as we go. Hey, you know what? Today is July 1st. I just made a little sketch this morning. Look at this. July 1st. There it is. And so what happens, can you believe it? On the first of the month, and I've been doing this since I started Roodoodles, I give away a painting on the first of the month. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I just did a warm-up painting, and then I'll draw a name at the end of the comments at the end of the show. And so we'll go from there. All right. So Christine Ann Green, welcome to you. And Judy, watch before she heads to the beach. Oh, what a life. Good grief, lady. I love it. That's fantastic. Zoe, glad to have you on this morning. Anna Westmoreland, welcome. Denise Marie, it's Marie and Marie. It's Hardy Reese. It's John Denver and Elton Newton John, and hello Ann Duffy from Ireland. Top of the morning to you. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is that a picture of a roux in your I love it there, okay? So I'll just talk about that. And so welcome from Ireland. Love to paint the green of Ireland. My wife has hiked there and been there. She's a McKibben from Scottish up the road, but I've never been to your fair city, but it's on my bucket list if I had a bucket that didn't have a hole in it. Okay, that would be great. All right, so let me do this warm-up painting. I'm going to give it away this morning. So that's how I figured out this would work a little bit to help you guys. So I'll just draw a name at the end of this. And Sandy, Karsten, you found me yesterday. And all the time I was not lost. I was right here, okay? It's great knowing that you can be found, people. All right. Whoop, whoop, how nice. Okay. I assume that was, and Hardy, you're from, Hardy Reese, you're from Puerto Rico. Fantastic. And yep, first of the month, some of you have received this. I'm just going to throw a little, this is a little clean water. It was sort of clean before I sat down here about 15 minutes ago. Of course, I couldn't let well enough alone. Looks like a bad case of lemonade. I've got a bamboo brush this morning. Good morning from Wyoming, Karen. Glad to have you. And Carol, the internet is awesome, okay? Hi from another person in Salisbury. Hi, Donna Hamilton. I love your fair city. I love to run up from Charlotte and drop in across the railroad tracks and take pictures of that old building with Salisbury or with Cheerwine on it. Just painting with a little bit of water, because you can see I sketched this with a dark pen that is starting to bleed already. I call it that for the sake of having a better term, because that's exactly what it does. The water just rolls around on the painting and it starts to bleed in. You see what that does? So I paint with water first, and then I'm just going to go over here and add some color. Here's my colors I'm using today. Hadn't changed on you. Got an Aussie watching here. Lulabelle, love it. Thank you so much. And Janet from the Isle of Malta. Holy smokes, people. You know, that almost warrants a fanfare. Almost. From the Isle of Malta. You know, I have mailed paintings to Australia. I've mailed 3 paintings to Tasmania. I have mailed paintings to Tokyo. I've mailed paintings to Scotland, Ireland. Scottish addresses are just fabulous. It's like the cottage by the big tree, by the stone wall, by the pond, near the Surrey, near the water wheel. They're fabulous addresses. And the postman looks at me and he goes, "Would you like to verify this?" And I go, "Heck no, just whatever's on the thing, send it." And I've never had one come back from there yet. Better than in the States. Maybe it's because it's so sparse out there and they go, "Oh, that's Bill. He lives at the end of the road." And Jan, thank you for jumping in from hot and humid Louisiana. George Taylor says an international superstar. Yeah, that and $1 will get you coffee. All right, back to painting. I'm not a teacher, but I'm a tip giver of watercolor things that have helped me in the past few years paint watercolor. Not that I paint it that well, but I'm more of an illustrator, and I like doing it this way. You have to find your own visual voice. You got to say, this is what I do best. Maybe after painting for a while, you go, I think I just like to write captions. I should be writing captions for Hallmark. I should do this. I should play an instrument. I should direct the choir. I should find out what your gift is, what your talent is. Some of you already know, but some of you have pulled out the old drawer that's been in the cabinet since your college days, and you've said, what if I wake these watercolors up, or just find some new bold ones, and start painting? And that's what you've done, and I've gotten some proof to show you. It's fabulous what you're doing. So thank you for allowing me to be a starter in that, and be in a community to contact one another. All right. So I painted this with water. These are my paints. I'm fast brain, right? Fastbrain, if you want to look that word up. My friend Dr. Jim Poole wrote the book, and I helped with that project early on. Flipping ADHD on its head. That's me. Okay. You never tell kids they're ADD or ADHD. So what if they are? It's not a liability. It could be a great thing. You're not ADHD. You're fast brain. And when your body understands your talent and how you're going to get fast, man, you're going to go places and do things. Okay. I sprayed these with a little water. Here you see it right here. I'm spraying them. And I wasn't watching my monitor, so I didn't know where I was. And that moistens them up a little bit for me to just use this bamboo brush and roll it in here and just start laying in a little bit of color and just let the color paint itself. There it is right there. Just dancing around, not overpainting. Some of you want to know how do I keep from overpainting things? It feels like I'm always overpainting something. And I'll say, stop brushing it in every little place where you see a line. In fact, Chip said it a minute ago, staying outside the lines or staying so far inside the lines you can see the line. That gives it a good look too. All right. I had a question yesterday that asked me about tape. And here's the roll right here. And they asked me what it was called. And there it is if you can read it. It's called artist tape. Whoever thought of that? They went, let's just call it artist tape. And let's sell it to artists at more money than it costs. But the adhesive on this tape is not wonderful. This is not what you want to do to seal packages. It's white tape, and I use a white tape as opposed to a blue or green type tape that you might get at paint stores because I think that affects your eye color. I like the white all around me here that it makes the blue pop out. If I had a piece of blue tape or another color laying next to this, you might say, "Ooh, I don't know how deep that color is." So here's what I do tape. Let me just show you real quick. I'm going to go to another shot. If you're getting ready to tape something off and you want to do a little border, I put lines here just for fun as I sketch this. I'm going to rip a piece of tape off like so. I thought I was going to another shot, but I didn't, did I? Here it is. All right, so I'm going to pull a piece of little tape off. I'm also going to tape the tape, and I'm going to stick it on my shirt like that. And this is what happens when you lay something heavy, like a blacksmithing hammer. This should never been up here in my office. On your tape, I bent this tape, so I might do this demonstration. I might not. I think we'll get another piece out of here. All right, so rip off another little piece of tape, and I just stick it on my shirt like that. There's another piece. Here it is right here. There, and I'll put it right there. And let's see if we can get one more piece off of here before I go have to buy some more expensive tape because I maybe ruined this roll. Here we go. And another piece there. All right, if this were coming off without being ripped up, this demonstration would have worked so much better. And I would have looked so more professional instead of a clown who forgot to put on his makeup in the right place. Okay, so the reason I stuck them on my shirt is just to pick up some lint off of my shirt, okay? So really what I'm doing is I'm making this pour tape stick even more pour. How's that? All right, so I'm going to peel it off my shirt. Here we go, zip. And then I'm going to put it on my painting like so, okay? And then I'm going to peel off another piece over here and put it on my painting like so. Try to not get your hair in it if your hair's as long as mine. All right, a little DNA on this painting. And then maybe just a little piece up here. So here's what happens. I've just created a little bit of lint on this painting or on this tape. And so that's going to not let me pull the pigment up off the paper. Not the pigment, but just the paper itself because this is cotton paper. Okay? All right. So there we go. Vitor in D makes me nervous. That's why I had to turn the stereo down. Okay, so here we go. Let's put a little more paint in here. So that was somebody asked me about tape yesterday. You saw the little promo where I was taping a small painting. And, all right, that settles it. That hair has to go. Who could have thunk it? That right in the middle of my moment to shine on live TV for Ireland and Malta, the Isle of Malta, I get a hair in the painting. Well, it's better than my suit, and it's a gray one too, so I know it's mine, and I'm the only one in this office. There, got it. All right. Had to take a pocket knife out and whittle that thing loose. All right. I wish they stayed in place like that on my head, okay? All right. Han means rooster, right? Because look at me, you've seen my hair. Okay, so you know what that's like. All right. So I'm just sort of hitting a little bit of paint in here like so. And then I think this rooster needs a little bit of yellow on his beak right here. He's going to be the giveaway. He's my warm-up rooster this morning. And a little coming down off of his backside and into the hackle there. Maybe a little bit of this gray. I love this gray, just touching it in there. And I believe he's got a little bit of a turquoise underpinning, as they would say if you were a fan of the 57 Chevys back in the day. All right. Maybe a touch of red back here in his tail feathers. Might just splatter a little red down in there and just let it go in a little bit. You see, there's really no rhyme or reason in how you paint your rooster. Sometimes you worry about making it look too much like a rooster you've seen. And I say, quit doing that. Just paint it and have fun with it. Just let it be what it needs to be. I'm going to take my ultrafine pen here. A little too much ink on this right here, so I'm going to close that up a little bit. I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to make some marks with this pen. Just cross hatch it a little bit. That's kind of how I do my the earth. And then just need to go in with my pen and shadow the rooster underneath. And I'll go back in and get some of this color and build up that just a little. Now, why did I tape that? I'll show you. I'll just go in here and get a little bit of this blue around the corners like this. There's a corner there. There's a corner here. It's okay if his tail runs into the sky. I think that's kind of fun. Shouldn't have his tail up that high in the first place. All right. So this is going to be a fun little roof. So this is a demo warm-up, but I'm going to give this away. I'm going to send it to somebody, and you'll have some fun. He painted this live on the show. Now peel up the tape, and look, it doesn't stick very well at all because it has that lint on it from my shirt. So there's a little trick for you today. A trick and a tip that you can use from Roo. Look at that. Okay? That makes a cool little painting. So it says July 1st on it, so you can trim it wherever you want, frame it like you want. I'm going to sign it right here because I think you should sign all your work. That way, if you ever do a painting and you get famous someday, not me, but you, and it winds up on Antique Roadshow, they'll go, oh, yes, do you remember Bobby King? Well, she was painting and got very famous and moved to Malta, and then you make up your own story. But her work is sought after today. And so had she not signed it with a BK or whatever, then you would have never known that Bobby did that. So there you go, Bobby. Teresa says, 57 Chevy. Your brother had a lavender one. A lavender 57 Chevy. And I'm going to tell you, that would be something to behold right there. Okay? All right, so you get all this rush, you get all this movement around here, and you get just this splatter that I'm not going to change. Give it just a touch of a blue splatter in the sky right here. I do that by just putting a touch of my brush in a little bit of the paint and holding another brush, a pencil. It doesn't work with your finger because it's too soft, just something hard to click on. And just let it splatter down. There's a couple other ways to do that. One of these days, I'll show you how. All right, so this painting is going to someone. There's the blank right there. You can frame it. It's called When I Started to Paint. So somebody's going to get this, and you're going to look at it every morning. You're going to go, I'm going to paint. My wife painted yesterday. Oh, my gosh. My wife painted yesterday. She hadn't painted in a long time. And so I'm working upstairs, and she yells up and says, hey, come here. So I look down over the railing, and she's holding a small little 4x6 panel. And I go, what is that? Where'd you get that picture? She says, it's not a picture. I just painted it. And I raced down the stairs, best I could, and she's painted 2 oyster shells that are just brilliant. And I'm going like, are you kidding me? It's drying. It's going to take it a while to dry. And so William, thank you very much. Dana, I need to get some bigger brushes. Mine are all really small ones. That's okay if you're painting really small paintings, Dana. Okay? Sometimes I do cards like this, really small paintings. And so I like to do really small paintings. I love small works. They make me laugh. Okay? These are, of course, my official business cards. I've never really had a business card. And so, I've had a couple in my life, but not any that I had, that I did myself, except for these. So everybody who gets a painting from me gets an original, everybody gets not a painting, but a business card. If I'm out on the street and I bump into you somewhere, you get, and they say, hey, do you have a card? And I go, I have this one. And they go, well, there's nothing on it. And I go, well, there will be in just a second. Just stand still there for a minute. And so I wind up painting them an original card like that. There you go. Done. Okay. Whoops. Knocked myself over. All right, let's see here. See, I made some sketches today, and I wanted to finish a little painting for you here. I made them last night. Actually, there's a crab. I did. Every now and then, you come in, you do a crab. It's kind of fun. I saw this. I had this idea last night, or this morning actually, And I got in here early, and I sketched it out, and I thought I wanted to paint this for you. I like the looks of it already, and I'm just going to do a little erasing on it here. I did the bees in some pencil first, and so there's something about this that made me laugh, and so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in with a smaller brush. So Dana, have that smaller brush, and I'm going to go and pick up some color for my bees. Just touch them like this. Look, this is 148 pound, 184 pound. This is thick paper. 184 pound mixed media paper, slick. It's very hot pressed. So I got to be careful because of the pen I used has a lot of ink bleeding capabilities in it, and it'll go running everywhere. So I got to just be careful here a little bit. Oh, this is great music for this. All right, so there's my bees. You see where I'm headed with this already? I think you can. If not, you'll figure it out by the time I get there. About the same time I will. I literally hadn't had too much time to think about it, but I'm thinking that this is going to be red right here. I think it needs to really pop, and I think this is red right here. This red, this is the bee carrying the red. A little bit of water, just a little bit of yellow left in this brush. There it is right there. And then I'm going to go get some of this Gambogi yellow, which I was told yesterday that there's a chance it could be, some of the principles from this plant was also a laxative, so don't eat your yellow paint. I always thought it was don't eat yellow snow. I guess it's don't eat yellow paint too. So. All right, so there we go. All right, so this is going to be good. What kind of ink do you use? Jean-Anne Fugit Basalt. I probably butchered your last name, but you know what? Ink, the ink in my pens is just whatever's in there. So my pen is my pen. I don't do these with a cartoon pen. I do most of these. This one was sketched with a Lamy pen. Here it is right here. It's Lamy. It's a fountain pen, and their ink before it dries will take off like India ink and water. This is a fountain pen that has Speedball ink in it. So you can go back and see some of the shows where I talk about just pens. I generally just sketch with a Pentel 07 or an 05 Pentel Intergel needle point. Okay, all right. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do now is I just add some color in here. This painting is not going to have a ton of color in it. It's just not going to, because I think it's more clever and creative than it is artistic ability. But so what? That's kind of how I wanted to see this coming down the pike. And so so these bees seem to be carrying in, I like this one having some orange right here, just carrying in buckets of paint. I'll put some down here. And the Roo's waiting on his morning dress code. So now he's just going to be whatever he bleeds out to be. Look at this. And we might have to stage this just a little more so the theater takes over, and I'll show you what I'm talking about right there. Let's see if this bee, yeah, I got it. This bee right here is going to have a brush like this. All right. So that little bee has a brush, and it's painting yellow paint. So we got some drips coming, and he started there. See there? So these little bees are carrying in the morning colors for the Roo. This guy here is going to get, oh, no doubt what he's going to get. He's going to get blue, and he's already pouring it out on the tail right here. What's this? And it's drooping down. See, I made this up as I went. I didn't know where I was going to go with this. Might come in here and just add a little bit of blue in the sky around the bees, just not to anything too dramatic, just to place it a little bit. Come in and add a little bit of green grass in here. One of the reasons I don't take my art down is because I like to move it around. I like to look at it from different angles. I like to, I'm not working too much with perspective here. It doesn't have to work in illustrative art, and that's the kind of what I deal in. I deal in that because of my style and my limitations. Did you hear that? I deal in that because of my style and my limitations. I wasn't gifted by God to be a fine artist. If I practiced all day long, maybe I could do what my wife did yesterday for an oyster shell. But she has a natural ability to do that. I get so wrapped up in the story and the comedic or the sincerity or the sentimentalness or just the honor of a story that I start painting little scenes and vignettes. And so that's kind of how my world goes around. So this painting to me, let me see if I can blow it up just a little bit here so you can see what I've done. Let me see if I can get this into view for you here. So give me just a second to be, who cares if I'm professional or not, right? I'm not worried about that anyway. Let me see if I can get my big old head out of the picture here just a little bit. Shoop. There we go. All right. So what you've got is you have this little painting that is this Rood. He's come out in the early morning sun. Maybe. How do we know it's the early morning sun? Well, because everybody's up early and there's a little bit of sunshine streaming through from over here like this. Okay. And it's also a little gray and darker on this side of the painting over here. And maybe there's a little green, some more shrubbery over here. Shrubbery. All right, and these little paint cans are sort of gray here. So, in fact, they're all just got a little spot of gray on them, like so, except this one's already covered in paint. And so the bees are flying in to paint the roof. I love this, okay? That makes me smile. It makes me happy. It makes me like, oh, wow, there's a story here. Can you imagine? This would be a great story for a book, for kids to go, so what color do we want to wear today? You know, and I'm thinking, well, I wear black because if I don't, I'll have paint all over it. All right, so there's a kind of Shell. Thank you, Andrea. Great stories. Love the painting. Thank you so much, and I like it. Busy bees. All right. See, somebody said something plein air. I wanted to thank you for the warm up. I have to go work in the garden, painting in the garden today. Oh, Julie. Okay, listen, Julie. I saw. No. I saw that from Tina, but I thank you for getting out there and painting. And remember, when you're doing plein air painting, which is very French, that's wonderful to do. In the South, we just call it painting outside. Okay? So just get outside and enjoy taking in a deep breath and moving those brushes around and making something fun. So I hope you have great luck today painting outside. All right. Having sound problems. Anyone else? I don't think so. I'm going to check my... when people tell me that, I always look and check. Let's see. I'm showing that it's tracking good from here. Okay? So I'm showing my meter is happening. All right. Your husband's in the poultry business. Poultry. All right. Wait, I got to move off a little bit right here. And I haven't signed this yet, but I'm going to sign it right here. Roodoodles. So, what am I wearing today? All right, there's painting. A little splatter in here, just a touch of splatter, just like this. Ever so gentle, and also just a little bit of that yellow splatter right in there. I like that. Maybe a little red where the bees are spilling their paint as they head in. So I like where this is going. Maybe if I can get that to splatter just a little bit. I'm trying to be so tender with it, but there it is. Too much. There we go. Okay. There's your painting. I'm not going to do anything else to him. This bee's already pouring out his blue. This one's carried in the red. This one's already hit the beak with a little yellow. Let's go to another painting. I think that one makes me laugh. Okay. All right, let me put this over there. I pencil sketched another one out. Let me see. That may be too big to get to it, so let me come back in a little bit. Hey, thanks for joining me on day 88. I appreciate you liking my page, and I appreciate you hanging on and watching, and I hope you're getting some tips. Remember, I'm not a teacher, didn't go to art school, didn't go much of any school except the school of the outdoors and the school of camp. My growing up had to do with a camp. I moved into a camp when I was a young man, and they sort of gave me a radio and a clipboard and said, here, you're in charge of all this. Go get busy. So I did. It was a fun way to learn. The bees know. That's exactly right. The bees do know, man. God made them made them smart, huh? Yeah. Wow. All right. So here's I need to go with an 05 pen. Those of you who ask about pens, this is a Pentel inner gel needle point. So, Kara, thank you for jumping on board today. I see your name, and that's a new name. First time watching you, Kara Williams. Voila. Thank you for being on board today. This is what happens. I just talk a blue streak. I make up stuff. Most of it's based on either stories of my past. Some of it's illustrative art. I love roosters because my name means rooster, and I like the fact that they're the poet in the farm. They're the farm bard. And that may be one of my hashtags that's coming. I own that domain, farmbard.com. Haven't done anything with it yet, but one of these days, you never know. You might just get busy. And as Terry Tardy said, yes, you're on Instagram. I am on Instagram. Been there for a while, but don't post much. So you can find me there. I'll start doing a little better job of posting there and maybe doing some stories there. And we're still trying to figure out what I'm going to do when day 100 rolls around. So far, I've painted 88 days on the internet, just not on Sundays usually, but mostly Monday through Friday, and it's been a treat. It's been a treat because of you guys. So thank you so much. All right, this is a summer painting, and I heard rumor that if we're able to, real soon, we're going to have grandkid camp again, something that's kind of fun. We have our grandkids over, and we run just a sort of little camp in the backyard for them or in the house. My wife, being an art person, creates these great ideas and comes up with things. And so one of the things that we do here is we roast marshmallows on, if we can find a night that's below, 85 degrees. We roast marshmallows, and so I thought I'd do a little marshmallow roasting peep here this morning. There he is right here, and you see something going wrong already with the painting. Can you see what that is? Yeah, with my little story. So here's the Roo. He's out there. He's the instructor. He built the fire. He's got everything ready to go. All right, see, I'm going to change pens now. And this will show you some of that bleeding. I'm going to go with this pen right here. And this is a Lamy fountain pen. So I know that when I put a fountain pen on a small painting like this, I'm going to get an ink problem. I'm going to have ink that runs here and there, maybe places where I don't want it to run. And so, but in this case, I think I want it to run there, okay? I'm even putting it on the marshmallow. And this might work, it might not. I'm going to put some dark down in here between the rocks, sort of like they've been cemented together. All right, and then, all right, so I think you can see where this is going. This is the Roo telling the kitty Roos how to roast the marshmallows. Excuse me. Excuse me. I gotta have to sneeze again. Wow, that was not good. Had to drift over into the back there. Eraser dust. I love it. I love it. All right. Should have blew that in the other direction. All right, I usually start over on the left because I'm right-handed, and if I don't, I wind up getting a lot of paint. But I'm going to go in here today because I want to finish with this way. So I'm going to go in here and just go in and do his waddle. Now, those of you who, and by the way, this is a #1 bamboo brush. Thank you for the blessings on that. I needed it. I blew that eraser dust, and I think my little fan just kicked it right back up in my nose. But like, okay. So this is a #1 brush. Bamboo brushes tend to be just really fussy and frilly. Look at this. When you buy them, you go, there's no way I can paint with that. But when you wet them, you know what they do, right? They just, everybody lines up and gets in shape, and they just turn into a wonderful looking brush. Look at that. And so it's sort of like my hair, Look at these brushes. Some of these are huge too. Some of these are great brushes. If I'm doing a big painting, if I'm doing something that's 12 by 18 or bigger than that, I'll use a brush like this. So I keep a handful of those things around. Keep some smaller ones, but this is about the smallest I use. And I just got during this show, I've painted mostly with regular, just round watercolor brushes. And most of these are nylon. They're not sable. They're not. I don't need brushes that cost me $85. And then try to sell a painting to you guys for $35 to $80. I just can't afford to do that. Like I make my art affordable, and I like to make my art original, so that you go, oh my gosh, nobody has a painting like this. Even if I paint the painting over again, it's never going to be the same painting. It's just not going to turn out that way. Um, so there's no combination to this other than just having fun with it and sort of letting it roll. Okay. The music just died there, like I was supposed to have this painting finished. So maybe it kind of rushed me. Isn't it weird how you get caught up in the soundtracks? All right, so I always clean my brush out really well when I go into the paint. And if I don't, I'm going to get a mess like I just did here a minute ago. I touched my green paint into my yellow paint, and I touched my blue into my yellow and just got some ugly green in there. So I've got to go back and clean that out a little bit. So that's what I just did here. Once I use a color, I'll tend to go back and wash the brush out, and then just take my blotter. Hear that sound? And then I'll take the blotter and I'll just pop it in. And maybe if I feel like the brush isn't clean, I'll do that twice. Put a clean brush back into your paint, okay? If you want to mix paint, mix in something else that's got maybe some paint pans or palette pans, so you can go mix and have all that working for you. You just don't want to be painting, and at the end of the paint shift, you're suddenly trying to get everything's brown. It's the color of your water. It's going to turn like this, just kind of a turn of a dark, ugly brown. Ugly brown, Neil Mallory, as he says, okay? Got to be a better color than the company that named brown ugly brown. They didn't really. I think I coined it that, and they're not listening to me anyway. All right, so there's the old Grandpa Roo. I've still got some. Excuse me. Still got some dust in my nose. Started off bad and it got worse. All right, here we go. I got a clean paper towel over here for blotter. There it is, right there. Okay. Now these little peeps here. This one right here is just in great shape. This is the story on this one. He's just marvelous. He's doing great over here. He's in good shape. He's got this little cool handled sword. By the way, when we roast marshmallows at my house with my grandkids, we roast them on Spanish fencing swords. It's true. It's true. Spanish fencing swords. It is. I bought them on eBay years ago. I cut the tips off of them where that you fence with, the little round tips. I sharpened them up, and then I have them stored in this container. So we take them out, and they're about yay long, and they have a great hand guard. And when they come out, the grandkids go, wow. And the blade is flat, and so the marshmallow doesn't spin. They don't turn. They're fabulous for hot dogs, too. So now you know the rest of the story on my marshmallow roasting thing. It really makes me laugh every time. I loaned them to a guy a while back who wanted his girls to. They were doing a big fire thing outside. He said, hey, you don't have any cool marshmallow roasters? I said, dude, you're not going to believe what I got. I have some fencing swords. He went crazy. He said, oh my gosh. All right, so this Roo here, remember what happened to this Roo? I hope you can hear that music. It's really fun to paint to this. I think you can see what's happening here. This is what happens when kids get, when they burn the marshmallows, they get too close. messed that is up. My pen hit a rough place in the paper. There it is. There's something else that hit it right there too. Okay, I think yours is done. All right, you ever had that problem when you're roasting marshmallows and the kids just keep going like, mine's on fire? And you go, no, you're on fire. And so you got to be careful when you're working outside and playing with kids. There it is right there. So another story. Let me do one more and then I'm out of here. So I got this one this morning and it had to do with little stories. So what am I wearing today? The giveaway. Don't forget. I'll draw a name at the end of this broadcast, and I'll send this one to somebody. All you have to do is send me an email address. Hey, a lot of times these illustrations are the ideas for some of my books. Here's a copy of mine. By the way, if you're waiting on a book from me, guess what happens? The box appeared yesterday. Thank you, publisher. Thank you, Amazon, for getting my books to me. So I have a whole full box of books here at the house. So I'm going to open them up, and you can go on Roodoodles.com. Let me show you what that looks like. Just get it right here. Hold on one second. It's going to look like this. Boom. Roodoodles.com. You see me pointing at it right there. There it is right there. Ding, 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 ding. All right, you see me pointing at that. Roodoodles.com. If you go to Roodoodles.com, it'll have some information about the book. You can order the book from Amazon. You can order the book from me, strangely as it sounds, for a few dollars more. But I pay the shipping from the publisher to have them shipped to me. And then what I do when I get the book is I actually take the book, and let's say that you were going to buy the book from me and you wanted me to sign it to a friend or children or somebody. I would do this little sketch in the front of the book for you, just like this, like I'm doing right here. And this is the sort of the trademark Roo that I do in here. Figured out what that was going to be. He's holding a paintbrush, which I love. He has the name Roo written right here, generally in quotes, a little bit of grass in here. And then what I do then is I just come in and I paint this Roo on the front cover of the book real loosely and real quickly, like so, just like so. And I do this. Thought this was such a great idea when the book came out until the day that I put them all on the market. And we sold 400 of them that day through my Kickstarter program. And lo and behold, I was sitting up into all hours of the night going like, what was I thinking? I had no idea I'd have to paint 400 of these things. And but man, it's been so fun to just always agree to do an original in the front of the books. And so that's sort of why I do this. It makes me laugh. I think it's fun for either your kids, your grandkids, or yourself, or even your friends to pick up a book and go, oh my gosh, this looks like an original. And you go, it is. It's an original in here. And I have a couple books by an artist, and one of them is Lian Zinn, who actually painted an original bird, a rooster, and then a crane for my wife in his books. And so there's what the book will look like if you get it from me, and it'll have a little more detail. When this dries, we'll put some ribs in there, and it'll say, thank you so, Michael. But I'll do this one to somebody, and that's whoever purchases that one will get it. And so that's how that works. And if you ever see paints droppings or smudgings on them or other things, most of the book is like that anyway. That's just how, there's my splatter. Hey, Roo, what's a wheelbarrow? It's all about the creativeness of what is a wheelbarrow. I'll show you one of my favorite pictures. It's right there. It's coming up. It's the 4th of July parade float. And there it is with the bunting, and it's a thunderstorm. It just shelters a thunderstorm. So you can get the book. It's called Hey, Roo, What's a Wheelbarrow? My daughter did the layout on this, and I wrote it and illustrated it. And so illustrative art. I hope you're learning to paint well and enjoying what you are painting, okay? All right. Had one more painting that I thought I sketched this morning that I was just going to let you take a look at and see. I thought it'd be a fun painting to do here. So I've got this painting I'll throw out online. I think yours is done. So what am I going to wear today? And then this painting right here. See if I can knock this out before the end of the show, okay? All right. So it's a mailbox. I like mailboxes because they bring gifts. And by the way, speaking of mailboxes, hey, take a look at this. Christine Green, thank you for my artwork and thank you for my note. There's a couple checks. By the way, these checks go to David's Table, Skeeter Pal. And so the kids I painted with a few weeks ago, so Neil Mallory and Linda, thank you so much. And Linda, look at your flower that you painted for me. Is that gorgeous or what? Come on. Thank you so much for that. So I've got 2 checks here that go, I'll be sending those Skeeter with a couple paintings down to you. Got one painting you can auction off or sell and put the money into art supplies for those kids that you're painting with on Thursday afternoon. Or give the supplies to your high school, the guy just out of high school, the art teacher. He needs good supplies to teach with. So I love that. Thank you for sending me your artwork. It's fabulous. And I love seeing it. All right, so this is a kind of a mailbox look here. And look at this rooster. He's upside down. So how'd you paint a rooster upside down? Well, I just turned the paper upside down, okay? And you're like, oh, shoot, I wouldn't have thought of that. Well, of course you wouldn't have, because your brain is thinking the right way. Turn things upside down sometimes, okay? I think it was Jesus who said that, wasn't it? Turn it around, turn it around. Surprise them a little, start shifting around. To get right side up, turn it upside down. Now's the time to turn it around. Cotton Patch Gospel. Tom Key, Harry Chapin. It was a play. All right, so there's the rooster. He's looking into the mailbox. I like this painting. This is going to be good. If I had an eraser, I'd erase some of this. Just penciled it in. Whoops, I didn't even do this down here. Look at this. The mailbox thing comes down. It's got another little line here. Got a little roll in the front. It's got a line across here. And then it also says when you open it this way, you can read US this way. Did you know that? Yeah, I like that. These are nails, of course, in the board. It's got, you can probably see the top of the flag over here on this side. It's not up, it's down. So there's a little painting, and I bet I can knock this out in 5 minutes. And I've got a caption just shot through my brain here. It'll be fun. All right, I'm dump this eraser dust away from my fan, so I don't go through another sneezing process. There we go. All right. How does your brain work? You're blowing my mind. You know what? God did that, okay? Oh, my gosh. Lynn Brown says, this is how I approached my mailbox since there was a snake in there. Oh, my gosh. Somebody says it's Andrew's Turquoise. Yes, I believe it's American Journey. Judy, you are right. That is Andrew's Turquoise in here, and it is made by American Journey. American Journey is the paint that's made by Joe Miller of Cheap Joe's Art Stuff. You know what? I talk about them a lot, not because they pay me to talk about them, but just because Joe's been at this forever. Literally started in a hardware store in downtown Boone, a pharmacy in Boone, North Carolina, years and years ago, man. I mean, their family lived there, and he sold art supplies in the back, and just really an awesome gentleman who loves art, and by the way, is a phenomenal watercolor artist. They do real teaching classes there where I'd recommend if you really want to learn the craft of watercolor, you should probably attend somewhere or go somewhere where somebody pours into you for quite a few days and just says, hey, you could do this, or this would help if you did that, and that would be very beneficial to you. All right, I'm going to turn this rooster upside down just like that. Look, looks familiar to you now, right? See, why would I think, oh, I don't want this paint to run this way, and it's going to be hard. We're like, no, just don't take the paper down. You go like, are you kidding me? Wow, why didn't I think of that? Wait, I just did. It's hard to paint with a full stop pulled pipe organ behind you, though. I'm telling you, that's kind of tough right now. Let me go back 2 songs. I think I had 2 songs I liked. All right. So maybe this is why chickens quit listening to Bach. All right. I like this rooster. He's kind of rough and ready. He's up on the mailbox. All right, can you see him? I'm pushing him all over the place here, but I'm hurrying. I'm rushing. You get the idea of where I'm headed with this. He's looking in the mailbox. See, somebody's already said, Carol said, I've already looked in the mailbox like this because I had a snake in your mailbox. Was the snake on his way somewhere? That's always my question. All right, I wonder, where's that snake going? Like, man, I hope they send me somewhere. But knowing the postal system, I'll get lost. I shouldn't talk bad about him. Julie in Rockbridge did her job. I'll tell you that. She that should be the little. There we go. That should be red. Julie tracked the painting down for me, and I met a lady the other day who was at the post office that wasn't very happy though. Whew, man! I said, if you'll give me the rubber stamp, man, I will. I'll stamp these "Do Not Bend" for you. I hit them twice. She says one time's enough, and I'll do it myself. I go, all right. Let's just figure out where everybody is then. I'll stay on this side of the table, 6 feet away. You stay over there and do your job, but I was just trying to help. She said, I don't think I need your help. So after she'd done about 8 of them, and she saw they had about 20 more paintings to go out, she slid the thing through the little slot in the plastic glass. She goes, okay, I guess you can stamp them. I said, great. You mind if I stamp them twice? That way some mail carriers don't see this "Do Not Bend," and they just sort of bend this. And some of this artwork, I said, some of this artwork is $2,000 a piece. And man, I said, okay, wait, maybe I got the zeros mixed up. All right, so for illustrative art, see, I've already done what I planned on doing here. I didn't do too much more than just throw a little bit of paint around and then come in and splatter a little bit like this. Give it a little bit of sky splatter down in here. I like the fact that there's something growing up around the mailbox here. I don't know what it is, but if it looks like my mailbox, it hasn't had a whole lot of maintenance attention. I was listening as if my wife said, "Here, here," but she didn't. So, what would I rather do than cut the grass? Anything. That's the answer to that question. All right. We'll trade paintings for people who mow my yard. That should be my motto here. Okay. So, I like this mailbox. It looks like it's been dinged up a little bit here. All right, so it's about time for me to quit. I'm close to 10 o'clock here. Yeah, the U.S. Postal Office is awesome. Listen, they really are. You know what? In 10 years, I've really only lost 3 paintings, and most of that's been in the last. 2 of those have been in the last 88 days when I've been working with you, and one of those came back to my house again yesterday. It went to the right address. It said she doesn't live here, and I'm going like, yes, she does. She called me from there, so it came back yesterday. It gets mailed again today. And maybe, Sandra, we'll get it there to you. And Jenny Butts, guess what? Your paper came in. The linen paper is here, so I'll be getting your painting to you. And I'll show everybody how that painting turned out. And we'll finish this saga story of you getting your 2 paintings. One to give to the neighbors who got the wrong one eventually. And also the painting of your quilted Roo. He's coming too, okay? All right, so I need a little pen here to get in here and do this, and need a little paper here to wipe this up, and then I want some more splatters in here. So I really work kind of fast, and sometimes it just allows me to be as loose and messy as I want to be, and that's sort of my style. It's sort of like this. I don't have to hurry, but I paint this way. It's not like I'm racing the clock always, but I kind of like doing it. It's become my style. And this may drive you batty, but see, you all know where this is going here. You can see it. Another exciting day on the farm. All right, so there's our painting for today. Margie, thank you. I splattered it before Zoe. Okay, since you're just in Swananoa, or no, it's not Swananoa. That's in Black Mountain. Since you're just in Salisbury, we'll work out a deal. I'll pay you. I'll pay you a painting, and you can drive down and cut my grass. Okay, maybe there's a grasshopper in there. Ooh, that could be good. All right. So here's the paintings. I'll post them in a little bit, and meanwhile, if you want to book, thanks for liking my page. Thanks for sharing my page. Thanks for following me online. I love it when you guys are out there. Thanks for being from all the towns that you're tuning in from. Across the U.S., most certainly, those of you who are staying watching and hanging with me. For those of you who find me from time to time in places like Australia and Malta and Ireland and Scotland and the Aussies, I just love it very much. Thank you for being on board, and it just makes it kind of fun. And tomorrow, Lord willing, it'll be 89 days. Okay. So 11 days till I make my goal of 100 days to paint with you guys online. I'll post these paintings and I'll put fair prices on them. Somehow, somebody is going to, I know how somehow works. I'm going to draw a name. I'll just scroll through. How much? I want the mailbox one. How much? I don't know. I'll figure it out, and we'll talk about time, talent, and size and detail, and then the amount of black tea that I drink every morning, and I'll put a fair price on it. Marshmallow ones and all that. I'm going to post those in a little bit on my Facebook page, and it's first email. First email comes, we'll buy that. Okay, this one I'm going to give away when I started to paint, and I hope it inspires some of you to continue being creative. Today, before you get up from your desk, if you got a piece of paper and a pen there, write somebody's name down right now. Somebody's name, not necessarily on this broadcast, but somebody's name that you go, oh, you know what? I need to call that person. I need to text that person. I need to send that person an email right now. I need to maybe do a little card and put it in the mailbox today so that their mailbox isn't empty, okay? So that it shows up. I don't think I'm back on your screen here, okay? So today, before you do that, okay? So it's a call, a text, an email, or a card, one or the other. Just write their name down right now and encourage somebody else today. Would you do that? Do that as part of the Ruse Crew, ROOS, and I'll hashtag that. And so if you hashtag Roodoodles, if you hashtag Ruse, ROOSCREW, if you hashtag Watercolor Roosters, if you hashtag Michael Hahn, if you're going to hashtag wheelbarrow, something's going to pop up with the Roodoodles on it. And thank you for following me. Thank you for owning my art and hanging it in your homes. I am blessed. Blessings to you. And I am out of here with a little bit of a sound. And I don't know what that sound is today, but I think it's just going to be the ding of a coffee cup. Are you ready? Ding, ding, ding. We're out of here.